Start. Thank you. So hello, everyone. My name is Professor Pamela Karimi. I am the director of the Office of Undergraduate Research, and this is second. Sorry. This is the second in our workshop and information sessions that we are organizing for the Office of Undergraduate Research. And we hope that these Zoom opportunities give you a chance to participate in our discussions, to learn a little bit more about research opportunities and also opportunities that are outside the realm of research, but are somehow connected to your research. And it's important for you to participate in those as well in order to be a successful researcher. So internship is one of those opportunities, and the two are somewhat connected, but there are also differences. A lot of students, especially freshmen, sometimes they ask me about the differences between the two. What does it mean to participate in an internship opportunity vis-a-vis a research opportunity? So we are here to shed light on some of these ambiguous areas, if you will. So today I have Professor Lance Piandella, who's joining us from the sciences, from STEM, Gohan Gul, also from the sciences, and Eun-Young Park has kindly joined us from the Career Office, and many of you may be familiar with the Career Center and the opportunities that they make available there for you. So here, Eun-Young Park particularly discusses the connections between internship opportunities and research opportunities. So on that note, and on top of that, I should also say that I'm an expert in humanities and the arts. So after our three presenters are done discussing issues related to research and internship in their areas of specialty, then I will talk a little bit about the arts and the humanities. But of course, at the end of the session, we have a chance to do the Q&A. So if you have any questions, please keep them for the end of the session, and we're happy to answer your questions. So on this note, I'm going to turn the platform to you, Professor Piandella, please.
Well, I will say that normally I'll just speak to my own experience as in my capacity as a professor. Typically I work with students in undergraduate research before they take their first internship. That's because I'm working with students very early in their academic career. So normally, I guess one question that naturally arises is how to get involved in undergraduate research. And I'll tell you what I look for, right? So I teach the freshman programming class first semester in the electrical and computer engineering department, which exposes me to all of the freshmen, both electrical and computer engineering majors. And what that enables me to do is observe two things. One, it's not just about raw academic talent. It also has to do with teamwork skills, right? I much prefer a student who is collaborative than competitive. It's good to be competitive with oneself, but to be collaborative with others is important. So when I see a group of bright young students working together, it tells me they have two sets of skills, not just one, that will help them be successful. And when it comes to understanding the differences between undergraduate research, master's level research, and PhD level research, typically the students will be exposed to mentoring by my graduate students as well in my lab. I'm taking a new approach this year because I am almost exclusively working in research on the software and mathematical modeling side, not on the hardware side, which is what a lot of students in electrical and computer engineering decide to major in that topics instead of computer science, like many of you in the audience. So what I do is I have a set of application areas. So I might have something that is in the area of robotics or something in the area of mobile application development. And I have a list of application areas. But I tell students, don't lose focus on who the sponsor is. Focus on the core set of skills that research work at the undergraduate level. It's really kind of a complement to your coursework. But I would say that in my opinion, what I have observed is that the single greatest benefit that students derive from participating in undergraduate research is not working with me, it's working with each other, because that's teaching them teamwork skills that will make them that much more competitive for those internships and full-time employment after they've spent some semesters and summers in my lab. So transitioning to internship, obviously having research experience looks good on a resume, but that's not a good reason to do undergraduate research. It's okay to explore. And if you have an academic talent that can be harnessed and you maybe get some mentoring from a graduate student as well as a professor, great. But you don't have to do undergraduate research to pursue an internship. And similarly, with pursuit of internships, there are lots of good websites out there now. I think, various job websites have both internship and full-time work opportunities. You can go online, you can search, you can go to individual companies and search. It's important to understand that internships start early, right? This is not something you go start looking for in April or May when your semester is ending. The most competitive internships start in the early fall semester. So I have colleagues at, for example, Raytheon that feel like the second the summer is over, they're in recruitment mode again because they want to find the students that they will ultimately hire. And so obviously GPA matters, but skills matter too. Obviously, I always tell my students who are involved in undergraduate research that it's important. Your grades are important, especially at the undergraduate level. And therefore, I limit the number of hours that they work unless they really have that good balance. But I understand that typically good students they care about their GPA. They're going to spend a good number of hours and therefore no more than 5 hours a week. So in other words, it really takes balance and time. But the other thing I tell students is if I give you a project, I give you 1 or 2 topics and you don't like it, don't just disappear. You need to speak up for yourself. You need to have some level of self-awareness, understand why you don't like what, maybe it's a coursework, maybe it's you just don't have the skill set yet. And, or maybe there's something else you're more interested in. It's okay to ask for something slightly different. If there's really nothing that's a good fit, well, then maybe find another mentor. That's okay too. So these are some of the considerations when it comes to how to get started, what I look for with undergraduate research, as well as ways to start thinking about internships. Either both are great. If you can do both, wonderful. If you only do one or the other, that's okay. What I also say is, sometimes the most highly paid internship isn't necessarily going to be the most fulfilling one. So I'll stop there and let the others add some comments.
Thank you. That was great. I have a couple of questions, but before I pose my questions, I want to move to Gohan because he's also coming from the sciences. Gohan, do you have any suggestions for us?
Oh, hello, everyone. I'm going to take a different approach than Lance, and I'm going to start with a general comparison between the research that you should expect in our department and internship opportunities that you can expect in the industry, especially for the engineering, but it also applies to other areas as well. So when you are performing research at a company or doing undergraduate research with a professor, what you should expect is a concrete project with set goals. And this concrete project and set goals by your professors or at a company is usually because of the fact that even though their projects are usually more branching out and in various ways creative and innovative, when they are looking at your resume, they see a student, and a student they think is that should be mentored, and I agree with that fact. And they usually lay out some sub goals of their project, even though the rest of the project is more undefined and uncharted waters. You usually expect to work in a pretty well-defined area, even if it's research, or it may be something like an actual task that you can find in the industry. However, when you are working at industry, when you are doing an internship, you usually work on products. Products are different than research goals. Now they may have actual users. The product may actually be being used by a certain user base, in which case this time you have maybe a defined set of goals, but you also have a certain threshold, a deadline that may be challenging for you. I'm not saying that internships or the research that you do in the undergraduate level will not have deadlines. They will absolutely have deadlines. But in this case, you are looking at, for example, a deadline for some functionality for users to use, and they are expecting that. The mentors that you have in a research project will have some kind of a buffer for a deadline. They will tailor your expectations towards their deadlines. So you may need to, for example, if you miss that deadline with me when you are working with me, you are probably going to not get fired because you missed the deadline. But in an internship at the industry, that will be different. Let me talk a little bit about the industry internships or research that you do in the industry. So is it less rewarding and you should be afraid of the deadlines? No, I don't think so. That is, again, a challenge for you. Then you will see in many places that, for example, the compensations will be better in the industry. Yes, that's a fact. Especially with graduate school or research-oriented jobs, people do research usually out of their passion because they want to contribute to some certain subject. Maybe they have certain goals in life that industry will not satisfy. The other case is also possible, but usually in the science area, the pay is a little bit less than industry, and that's an accepted accepted case in our area. I don't know many other areas that the thing is going to be different. The situation is going to be different. But on the other hand, in the industry, there is going to be a lot of rewards in terms of tailoring you to work in larger teams. Lance said that two competitive and successful students working in a research project, when we see those, we also see that there are a lot of collaboration opportunities and you are gaining skills to work in teams. In the industry, probably the teams will be larger. They may have, for example, less expectations from you, but there will be certain deadlines and there will be larger teams that you are working at. So you should be aware of the fact that the skill sets that you are going to gain from both of these opportunities will be different. And you should look at these opportunities in terms of what you will gain from both of those, because that's going to be your career. It doesn't define your career, but it's going to contribute to your career in a very different way. So I'm going to let you take the microphone right now, but I can come back and talk a lot more.
Thank you so much, Gohan.
Mhm.
Before I turn to Won-Young, I have a question for both of you, Professor Fiandella and Gohan. Sometimes in the STEM sciences, because you work in collaboration with other people, especially in collaboration with your advisor, your professor, or your boss, sometimes there is a problem in terms of highlighting your own voice. How do you differentiate your own creativity, your own research agenda from other members in a group?
And
Would you like me to answer that first? Or would you
I
like
think
Yes,
so.
please go ahead, Lance.
Well, Not sure I understand your question entirely because, one thing I will say that's nice about engineering research is it doesn't have the subjectivity of, say, the 101st PhD dissertation on Shakespeare. Everybody can be an expert on Shakespeare and argue about who's the expert, and there's some gatekeeper who decides whether or not you get that PhD or whatever master's degree. But in engineering, if it works and it's faster and you can prove it, it's objectively going to be accepted by the community if it is an advance. A lot of times the advances are incremental, but that's part of the nature of making progress in various areas of science and engineering. When it comes to, if again so I would say that perhaps the question as posed may not be in our daily thinking, right? To think about, but I do think about, how do I mentor my graduate students, especially to achieve what I refer to as research independence? At the end of those studies, those years, we want our students to be able to go off into the world and do this without us, right? Just the same way parents want you to be able to survive, a research advisor wants you to gain that set of skills, from finding problems to picking the ones that make sense to pursue, strategically, doing the experiments, writing up those experiments, going through the publication process. It is a multi-year process, and there's a learning curve. The first time, it's slow, you make mistakes, all of these things. Students, I guess, in my opinion, the students who follow through will be the ones who gain those skills, right? We all have to be the one with, well, my advisor's funded to do X, so that's what I have to do. But there's wiggle room if they allow me creativity. But to say, understand, these are my set of skills, these are the problems we can work on, here's the future of what we might work on, allows teaching the skills to say, hit that moving target. What is the future grant or research topic going to be about? That is a survival skill that good advisors should be teaching to their students for them to be successful and to pursue faculty positions after a graduate degree. But undergraduate research can be a much wider set of things that isn't so much the treadmill that the more advanced researchers are subject to during their years in academia.
Excellent. Thank you, Lance. Gohan, do you want to add anything to that?
So I completely agree with Lance, and I'm going to add on to something that he said as well. So again, in the industry versus in research areas, when you are working in these two areas, the success criteria and the innovation criteria will be different. Your question was that how do you make your voice heard by other people, right? So in industry, the pure motivation, I guess, is going to be the money. How can you make more money for your company, for yourself, for others around you, so that you can successfully create, let's say, a product or whatever area that you are working at. In science, even if you are an undergraduate researcher, where in the following years, as you gain more experience, more titles, or let's say seniority, your wiggle room for your own innovation will expand exponentially. So even if I think I can say that Lance is an associate professor, I'm an assistant professor. I guess our difference will also be seen by other people on how much innovation we can perform if we want to do so. So for me, for example, to get grants, I'm going to have to follow trends to make sure that I can gain grants. But as you gain more seniority, gain more grants, you are going to have the opportunities to maybe follow a passion that will be less popular among your peers, because you already have the reputation, you can follow those. When you are an undergraduate student, it's the same. But in research, actually, your professors, your mentors will be excited with you as you propose something more innovative. I think that's a very big plus for the research side. If you want to make some kind of innovation, if you notice something that shouldn't be, that is out of the regular norm that's accepted, that's innovation. That's something that you can pursue, and people around you will be excited by that. So I guess
Excellent.
that's for the question.
Thank you so much for answering my question, both of you, Gohan and Lance. So now I'm gonna turn my attention to the director of the Career Center, On Park. I want to tell you that in my own field, which is history of art, and usually, you know, I work in the College of Art, so I do spend a lot of time with art students, but also sometimes with students who are in the humanities fields, such as social science, humanities and social sciences, such as political science and anthropology and history and so on and so forth. Some of these students can gain research experience by working in some institutions. For example, if you are an art history major, if you get an internship position at a museum, then you can have access to original works of art, and that will open your eyes to research, because otherwise, you know, you're working in a vacuum, always reading secondary sources. But when you go to a museum, you're able to find archival materials, you're able to find original works of art, and so on and so forth. So that opens a whole new door to you to start a research project. And then you can go back to your advisor and tell them that you're interested in doing research about some objects in a museum or in a historical society or in a government center. And then they can help you. Your professor, your mentor, your advisor can help you make progress on that front. So on this note, I'm going to turn it to you, Onyang, to get some ideas from you.
Yeah, totally agreed with you, Dr. Karim. So the reason, as the Lance and Kohan mentioned, I believe the students sitting in this room are very interested in the research and science research, especially in STEM areas. Not everybody, but many of you are in that areas. So, but we have to understand why research skills are important, even in industry. Also, the Lance and Kohan, they, also, the Pamela, they are professors. But, hey, students, what percentage of PhD degree holders are going to industry after receiving PhD degrees? A lot, right? Especially in STEM areas, I believe, the more than 70% of PhD degree holders are going to industries. In social science, humanities, slightly different, but a lot of the people who develop their research skills in the higher educations are choosing the industry jobs. As Pamela mentioned, in the humanity and the or arts, fine arts, you know what? For example, okay, let's say Apple or Microsoft, they have programs, the internship programs targeting these humanities students only. They are going to liberal arts schools only, small liberal arts, even though they have big programs for the engineering schools. But why Google is going to small the liberal arts schools for their recruitment? Because think about what Google is doing. They are selling their product to end users like us. Their employees should understand what their client in teenagers, 20s, 30s, 50s, 60s, 70s, how people are thinking, what we want to do, what we want to see from the Google website, from the Apple's devices, right? That's why they are hiring those people. That's why don't think if you're studying some humanities only, then you don't have any chances, to working in the high-tech companies. But there are some areas you should develop your curiosity about that areas. How your English majors, how your communication majors, or vice versa, how your computer science majors, what you're studying in computer science majors can be developing, can be contributing to Apple's, the developing new devices. It's not just, the hardware things. How you can contribute to solve people's needs or problems we are facing every day. That's how the world are now evolving toward, right? That's why in your undergraduate level, strongly recommend you from the Career Center viewpoint, try to make a balance between developing your research skills and knowing more about industries. So internship is great opportunities, in that sense. So I prepared the slide. Pamela, can I show the PowerPoint?
Absolutely. I just gave you the authority to do so.
Okay, thank you. So differently from the Lance and Kohan, I prepared some kind of resources so that I think some of you may be familiar with, or some of not. But I think again, let me share my screen. So Pamela, you can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So as I mentioned, knowing more about opportunities in while you're students, that is important. I don't know how many students are familiar with Handshake. Currently on campus, 32 or 33% of our students are using Handshake, which means around 70% or 67% of our students don't use Handshake. Why Handshake is important as a job posting tools? Because employers, larger corporations or small corporations, the companies are posting jobs targeting UMass Dartmouth students. When they're posting jobs here, they are thinking of the students at UMass Dartmouth, which is very different from LinkedIn jobs or Indeed jobs or any other job board. This is only for UMass Dartmouth students. Doesn't mean, it doesn't mean these companies are posting jobs only for our universities, but our universities are included to their target universities. Please go there to use, this website. Absolutely, a lot of events and fairs, career fairs are posted there. Also, you can complete your profiles on Handshake. Why? Larger corporations, they are able to search for student profiles. Then they are sending messages directly to you, right? So they are able to do that. Also, they are going to look at your document, resumes, typically you upload it on this. Then they are going to reach out, especially STEM students. You have way more chances of getting some approaches by employers directly if we are uploading your document on Handshake website. Also, my career interest that I, showing you on the right side. If you're completing your my interest in the areas, then Career Center is very easy to sort of, such as if you click a button on this page, such as National Labs, then if you are approached by National Labs, we are going to send a customized messages to you. We have, the 8,000 students. Sometimes we are sending mass emails from the Career Center, but we want to many times we want to send a pinpointing customized messages because employers don't want to send mass emails. Many students don't read those mass emails. So that's why please help us to find you regarding your specific career interest. Next one, don't miss career fairs. So our big career fairs are happening soon, February 24th, virtually. So today, I saw only one student open the camera in this room, but all of recruitings, not all of, a lot of recruiting activities by large corporations are happening virtually now. You should be ready to show your faces to others. Also, you have to think about your background, how professional your background look, right? That's why you have to practice showing your virtual presence. So student registration for this expo will be available tomorrow. So please go to Handshake tomorrow to see how many companies. Currently, 90 companies. Very interesting, a lot of companies, even including national labs, they are hiring interns for research positions too. So STEM students, don't ignore. You may think, oh, career centers, career fair is more about other positions. No, we have a lot of research positions too. Also, we may have some students in healthcare areas such as biotech and chemistry, biology, and medical device, and the lab science, life science. We have another in-person career fair in March called Nursing and Health Career Fair. This is the first ever career fair for these areas. So we are now inviting the employers, in this area. Even today, this morning, I talked to one of the largest health IT companies in the US. So I'm waiting for their approval, because I want to invite them. So this career fair, again, first ever career fair at UMass Dartmouth. So think about how many positions, internship opportunities are created in this health-related industry. Don't think health industries are only for nurses and medical doctors. No, no, no. A lot of positions requiring research skills are there, right? This is a big, I think, the areas I want our students to spend more time to know more about. I may want to pass, the Washington Center is also, on internship programs are going to do info sessions soon. But I think, this program is more about global health and international relations and business. So if you're interested in the global topics, absolutely, please, see this information. I believe, the Pamela will share this video with you. Also, as Lance mentioned, or the Kohan mentioned, last semester I found our students sometimes they have great technical skills, but the area you may struggle with is how you can deliver who you are. You know what? Technical skills should be delivered in a more organic way rather than listing your technical skills on your resume. That's why Career Center is offering storytelling workshop series. So first one is happening this week, how you can tell your stories in resume and cover letter, rather than listing all your technical skills, C++, Java, Python, blah, blah, blah. Hey, why you are interested in manufacturing side? Why you are interested in data science careers? Why? You have to deliver your stories in a more engaging way within 30 seconds, 1 minute. Even later, some other workshops here is how you can deliver your stories in your interviews, how you can network with people to make other people think, oh, I want to work with you, Unyo. I like you, right? You should be a likable person in the industry. So that's why Career Center created this workshop series, so please take a look at this workshop series. Then absolutely, you can try to make an appointment with us, or the appointment or drop-ins. As you mentioned, your resume is important, but many students tend to discount the value of the project, course projects. Students saying, oh, I don't have. Students saying, I don't have any experience. Hey, you paid a lot of money for your courses already. Don't discount of the projects you completed during the school semesters. then you can have a sections, right? Sometimes your research projects from your courses may be more shining than your part-time work experiences. So if we want to discuss how you can show your experience in a more engaging ways, please stop by at the Career Center. We can discuss those things. So that's the end of my talks.
Excellent. Thank you so much, On-Young. So On-Young, I noticed a lot of interesting points in your presentation that you're telling the students that one of the most important things that I take away from this is that you're telling the students that sometimes your research might be very, very kind of technical. You use a very technical, highly intellectual language. When you want to approach the job market, make sure that you learn how to translate that complicated language in a language that is more friendly, that is understood by a lot of people, and so on and so forth. So this is all really, really good. I also want to add that you know, make sure that I'm so grateful, On-Young, that you put your Instagram address on there, and I hope that the students follow you. We also have a new Instagram account for the Office of Undergraduate Research, UMass OUR. Please follow us as well, because in addition to emailing you, we are also making all the announcements about the workshop and information sessions and research opportunities on the Instagram page. Now, if you allow me to share my screen with you now, I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about the opportunities that we have here at the Office of Undergraduate Research. Let me just make sure that we have this page on, and I'm going to share my my computer screen with you. So you can see that this is the website for the Office of Undergraduate Research. Please make sure that you check it out, because all the announcements, all the important content that you're looking for in terms of your research activities is here. In particular, in relation to internship and research, I encourage you to take a look at external sources page. When you go to the external sources page, you can see that we have uploaded for you, for example, a database, a complete database for research opportunities and internship opportunities in life sciences. But there are also a lot of other opportunities out here for you. For example, for political scientists, for social research sciences, we have, for example, the Harry Truman Scholarship. And if you go to these websites, and if you learn a little bit more about them, you understand that many of these research and scholarship opportunities actually ask for an internship background. For example, for Truman, you need to have an internship experience in a government office, in a local government office. How do you do that? Where, when, and how do you start this? You come to me, you come to the Leduc Center. Unfortunately, the director of the Leduc Center cannot be with us today. Or you go to the career office and you say, hey, I'm interested in doing an internship in a government center, so that I can build up my resume and be prepared to apply for a Truman Scholarship, which is very prestigious, and it can become extremely helpful for your future success. So we can help you. We can help you gain those experiences. We can put you in touch with important people in this area, and then you can start from there, and then you can enhance your both your internship profile as well as your research and scholarship profile. Now, I want to open the platform now for questions. If you're a faculty member joining us this afternoon, please chime in. If you have some advice from your disciplinary background, please share that with us. If you're a student and you have questions, please feel free to ask us. Unmute yourself and ask us, or write your question or comment in the comment section. No questions? No comments?
I have a question, Pamela, if I may.
Please. Sam,
Uh,
thanks for joining
Hi,
us.
my pleasure.
Professor
It's
Sam Peck is an art educator. He teaches in the College of Visual and Performing Arts. Go ahead, Sam.
Thank you very much. I was just wondering if this has been a great presentation. I've really been listening in order to best help my students so they can be successful. And I just wanted to thank you again for everything that you all have shared today. This has been fantastic. I'm really looking forward to bringing this to my students. My question is there anything besides sharing these resources with my students that I could do as a faculty member to help put my students in a good position with their research and the research their work they're doing to position themselves better for internships or for scholarships?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Sam. Oh, continue, please.
No, that was pretty much my total question. I just very curious and want to continue to push this. I love the ideas about students, especially undergraduates, doing research. It's something I am a big advocate for, and yeah, I thoroughly love this presentation, and I'll just mute myself and take any responses the group has. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Sam, if you go to the external resources page, we have listed a number of faculty members who have who based on their area of specialty can be of help to you and your students. So for example, if you're somebody who's in social sciences, in government, and in policy making, you can contact that person whose name appears on the external resources page, and he can put you in touch with government centers and whatever you need. For the arts, I am the contact person. So if you, for example, if you're a new faculty member in the area and you're not familiar with some of the museums, historical societies, art organizations, I can help you by putting you in touch with these people, whether you want an internship opportunity for your student or you want teaching opportunity, docent opportunities for your students, or you want to send them out to the local library to do research. I even have the contact person of these people, the contact information of these people, and so I can give you that information. Thank you for that good question, Sam, because I want everybody to know whether you're a faculty or a student, the Office of Undergraduate Research is here to help you. So if you're a faculty new to this area, we are here to help you as well. So not just the students, but also faculty and mentors.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
I'm also going to say we are very much disconnected in our communities and also at UMass Dartmouth as well in terms of collaborating between different disciplines. So I'm going to give you one example that's from my family. My niece is a graphical designer. She was working at this advertising institution, organization, company, whatever they call it over there. And she wasn't happy with the work that she was doing, and she wasn't able to find any other job opportunities that may suit to her. And we were having just a family casual discussion, and I said, why don't you apply to defense companies in your city, because there are a lot. And she said, I'm not in the sciences. How am I going to apply to them? What am I going to do there? And I said, there's a lot of simulation opportunities, or there are a lot of other for example, 3D modeling jobs that you could be doing, and they pay well as well. What are you doing? How do you not know this? And I'm very glad to say that she found a job in the defense industry in her city, and none of her professors told her that it's an opportunity. So I'm not aware of many opportunities our students may have in other institutions other than the software companies, for example, because we are very disconnected from each other. So that's a big issue. Just wanted
That's
to
true.
say, sorry.
That's true, Professor Cole Gohan. Thank you so much for bringing up this very important issue. Yes, and of course, COVID has contributed to this disconnectedness, but COVID, on the other hand, has helped us be more active on Zoom and on social media. So we have better opportunities now for students. I'm amazed at the opportunities at the Career Office, thanks to you, Onyung Park. That is, students can, without spending too much time going to places, they can access these Zoom sessions or watch the recorded sessions in order to be informed about different opportunities. Here and now, Gohan, thank you so much for introducing that idea to us, because if there are art students now in our audiences, they know that they can approach science faculty and they can get feedback from them. We have tried to make these connections through the Ideas Studio, as well our architectural interior design program. I know that they're in touch with the College of Civil, with the Department of Civil Engineering, and they're trying to make that connection as well. But we are happy to expand these connections and make more opportunities for our students. So thank you for introducing that idea. I will work on that front, and I make sure that we create a platform for discussions, for interdisciplinary discussions. Onion, please.
Yes, to add on it, if there is any faculty members in this room or student club members, Career Center is offering the LinkedIn workshops. I know our Professor Lance Fionella is one of the experts in the LinkedIn search that I figured out recently while I'm working with it. You know what? For the same case, so I'm now looking at university, the LinkedIn, the alumni data. Out of our art education alumni, so we have alumni working in sales, healthcare, marketing, accounting, legal, right? So students, when they're going through the coursework, they may think very linearly, but your job opportunities may not like that. I studied German literature for my undergrad, but I don't speak German at all in my life, at least for the last 30 years. But still, what I learned from German departments is very, very helpful for me to understand different cultures. So that's why the faculties and the student club members, if we are interested in knowing more about how we can use LinkedIn to help students think about out of the box, because students tend to think only very narrow ways. So what you are studying from your undergrad majors can be applied to other areas too. It doesn't mean you have to go to that area. Still, you can stay in your traditional areas, but you have options. You can choose, the other areas out of your traditional route. So Career Center can help you to think about it. Yeah.
Excellent. And with relation to Handshake as well, right? Onion Park, they can contact you and they can get some help on that. Also, I wanted to encourage our students to Google some of these things or to search for some of these things on the UMass Dartmouth main website. I promise you that if you search for these words, something will come up that is extremely helpful to you. The other day, I had a student who had a lot of questions about a study abroad, and I noticed that the student hasn't even looked at the information on our study abroad page. So do a little bit of search before you approach people, but also look for the staff member information on that office. See who are the contact information for that organization, for that office on campus or outside of campus, and then contact them. If they don't respond to you, then, and I'm sure they would respond to you, but if they don't, then ask your advisor, your professor, to contact them on your behalf to help you out with a question that you might have regarding that subject. Any questions from students? And here we are. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Onyun, for providing your email so generously to students who might have questions about Handshake. Lance, please go ahead.
I just wanted to say that it's better to start now than when you're graduating. you know, the sooner you start, the more you learn to build your professional presence, not just on social media, but, you know, professional social media like LinkedIn and other avenues like the mentoring network that UMass Dartmouth has. So, you know, use the resources that are available to you, Young and the Career Center. Approach your professors, talk to them. If they say to you that, oh, why don't you go to the Career Center? Well, go to the Career Center. Maybe they can offer more than that, though. Some professors have a lot of connections to the industry. So, for example, if you look at my research website, which is just elfiandella.umassd.edu sites or something like that, you can find it from my university profile. You see that I have a list of all of my former undergraduate research students, and they have LinkedIn profiles. So what better resource than fellow present or former UMass Dartmouth students or alumni to reach out to find out about opportunities. Maybe they don't do anything special for you and just point you to a website to say, here's where you need to apply, but maybe others would be more interactive with you. So our alumni network is a great strength, and to be able for you to tap directly into that is going to make you all the more successful. So I encourage you to pursue options. If you've encountered roadblocks in the form of unhelpful professors, try something else. That's what I would have to say.
Just to add a little bit to that, Lance, thank you very much for that information. It's not that professor are intentionally mean and they don't want to help you. Sometimes you need to understand that they love you all and they care a lot about you. That's why they're professors. Otherwise, they wouldn't be professors. But sometimes they're a little bit overwhelmed, like they have over 100 students and many questions come to them and they don't respond to that email immediately. So they forget about that email because it gets lost in their email queue. It doesn't mean that they don't want to help you. Email them again if you don't hear from them the first time. If you don't hear, then go to your classroom after the lecture, talk to them directly. If they say, you know what, I don't have time to help you, but they will, I'm pretty sure they will tell you, go to this center, go to that professor, go to this organization, and they will provide help with regard to the subject matter. So people are here in this world to help you. People are not here to harm you. In fact, we all want to see you succeed. And in order to be successful, just passing your courses is not enough. You need to do research, you need to do internship, you need to work a little bit harder to make it to the next step, whether it's the job market, whether it's graduate school. You need to push it a little bit harder than just passing your courses and doing your coursework.
Can I do one more suggestion?
Sure.
When you see these professors on campus, don't just pass them by. Please, grab, hey, Professor Fiorella, Dr. Core, I saw you, or I took your courses, the class, blah, blah, the class last semester. What I learned from your course very helpful me with my current course or current job or research projects, right? That's how you can deliver your stories, or you can connect with professors in a more meaningful way rather than just one of the course attendees. So please also, if you see me at the Grove, because I love the Grove, so please talk to me. Hey, Unyoung, my name is blah, blah, right? I learned from your presentation. Can you chat a little more? Please do that, right? Next time when you are coming to this virtual, the programs, the sessions, please try to open your camera. Virtual presence is very, very important, especially for your internship search these days. Please show who you are. That's my perspective.
Great, thank you, Young. So are there any last minute questions?
I'm not the best with questions.
Go ahead, Alan, please.
but I am a bit shy, I'd say, and it is hard, but I am trying. But mainly, I feel, oh, I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Well, I can offer something. I was forever nervous when I would do research and grant development. So I developed tactics. Maybe you can develop tactics to overcome your shyness. For example, I used to type out very carefully scripted phone messages, and then I'd call after hours and I'd leave this professionally sounding message. So learning how to communicate in writing effectively, and then sending professional emails, scripting responses to standard interview questions, things like that may help you overcome, the answer in your head. It's just the social circumstances that may cause you to forget. So maybe using your writing skills will help you overcome your speaking skills, and build that and practice with friends.
Okay, thanks.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And also try to take advantage of opportunities for presentation. For example, conferences, and there are both conferences for undergraduate students at UMass Dartmouth and also elsewhere in the region. Try to participate in conferences. Speaking at a conference usually helps you get rid of that shyness that you're talking about, Alan.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being brave to address that, because I know that is not just your problem. A lot of students have that problem, but they're afraid of talking about it. So don't be afraid of talking about it. We've all been undergraduate students at some point, and we've all been shy, but we practice and then we get better and better at it gradually. So okay, thank you very much, Dan. I received your message. I appreciate your presence here today. So thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. It was really a pleasure to talk to you all. And I want to thank you, Dr. Fiandela, Dr. Kuhl, and Unyung Park. Thank you so much for giving us a lot of information about the Career Office and how it's important to keep the balance with internship, career, and research. Okay, have a great afternoon, the rest of your afternoon, everybody, and thank you again for joining us.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank you.
day.
Thank you, everybody.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.